Now that it's September, I feel like we can officially talk about fall fragrances. And today I'm bringing you my quintessential cozy fall fragrances. Everything I'm going to be talking about, whether it is personal fragrance or home fragrance, to me brings out a fall mood. There's kind of this golden cozy feel to it, and I feel like these are great starter scents to get going with fall if you're wanting something that really feels of the season. Yeah, let's just get into it. You guys know what fall is. We know what fall is. We love fall. I'm going to talk about fragrances first, and one of my go-tos for a few years now has been autumn vibes for fall. I mean, autumn vibes, it says it in the name. There's something so cozy about this scent. It's woody, spicy. This really feels like walking in a forest, walking when the leaves are turning and they're orange, golden, yellow, they're crispy. It's so good, perfectly unisex as well. This has notes of cardamom, pink pepper, and coriander in the top, nutmeg, carrot seeds, and olibanum in the mid, and then cedar, moss, and balsam fir in the base. I love all the spices in here. I feel like it really brings out the fall. If you want to smell like you rented a cabin in the woods and are just enjoying fall, maybe you're riding a little bit, I don't know, dabbling in some like side fall hobbies, autumn vibes is great. I also do like pairing this with vanillas if I want to sweeten it up a little bit, because on its own it doesn't really have any sweetness to it. It's really quite woody and again spicy, a little powdery. Another great woody scent that kind of evokes similar feelings as autumn vibes but is a little less spicy, a little more rounded because it has some vanilla in it, is Liis Bo. I freaking love this one so much. This is a little more aromatic to me and it doesn't feel as dry. Like the forest you're in isn't quite as crispy, the leaves aren't turning quite as much, like it's just a bit softer. Bo has notes of elemi resin, tobacco in the top, Kyara incense and sequoia in the mid, and then cedar, guaiac wood, and vanilla in the base. I absolutely love all the woodiness coming from this fragrance. It's done in such a nice, like kind of calming but still cozy way, and again the vanilla that's in here isn't necessarily like a rich vanilla or a very sweet vanilla or a foodie vanilla. I also feel like the tobacco in here is just adding something slightly sticky, although I would say overall there's a nice dry wood scent coming from this. Anyway, so good. Highly recommend. Both of these are great if you're looking for some fall woody fragrances. Now, if I want to do a woody vanilla scent that I think is just perfect for fall, that's also going to be heavy enough to handle the changing weather as it starts to get cooler, I really love Goldfield and Bang's Silky Woods. This one smells incredible. It's really nice and sweet, and I feel like that sweetness balances the woods and also the leather that's in here. I believe there's also oud in here. And even if you're not the biggest fan of leather, but you're kind of open to it, I definitely think you should get your nose on this one because I feel like the leather is so smooth and silky. I think Silky Woods is a great name for it. It almost smells like new car leather, so to me it has like an expensive smell to it, and I really feel like you could wear this casually or dress it up if you want, like going out. I think it smells just so good. Notes on Silky Woods: saffron and Ceylon cinnamon in the top, suede agar wood or oud, Madagascar ylang ylang, and jasmine in the mid, Tahitian vanilla, Australian sandalwood, tobacco leaf, musk, and olibanum in the base. It's really just a beautifully smooth, cozy, woody vanilla, and I highly recommend this one, especially if you want a more sophisticated vanilla going into fall. Another kind of vanilla plus scent to me is By the Fireplace from Maison Margiela. I am so obsessed with this scent. You definitely need to like something smoky, but to me now, after years and years, I don't even get as much smokiness as the first time I smelled this. I remember smelling this in Sephora and being like, this smells like a straight up campfire. Like, I smelled no sweetness initially, but now, oh my gosh, I get so much of the vanilla in here. But no doubt there is something kind of smoky, a little bit spicy, very rich coming from this fragrance. And then to me, it kind of dries down to something kind of creamy and sweet. A lot of people describe this as like burnt marshmallows, and I definitely get that, but add some woods in there. I feel like this one can definitely bring you into winter and colder months, but to be honest, I will wear By the Fireplace year round. I love mixing this with other vanillas. I really love mixing this with Baccarat if you haven't done that. Highly recommend that combo. But personally, I don't feel like the smokiness is too much for just fall time, and it's so cozy. I have so many nostalgic memories with this. Quickly, I'm going to talk about Phlur Vanilla Smoke because I feel like it's the best time to bring it up. It's the only body mist in here. I don't know if I have anything that screams necessarily fall in a body mist that I personally love to wear, but Vanilla Smoke does it. It is kind of similar to By the Fireplace, so if you like that but want a body mist, this could be good. I know Bath & Body Works does Bonfire Bash as well, and that one's kind of like it too, but Vanilla Smoke is definitely not a dupe for By the Fireplace. I think I prefer it technically because they're so similar, but I feel like this has less of that creamy vanilla kind of coming up through, and instead there's something a little bit more spicy in here. There's a pepperiness I'm getting from this. Also, I feel like this is almost more resinous than it is woody to me. Full list of notes: bergamot, pink pepper, pepper and birch in the top, cacao blanc, cashmere, vanilla, and tonka bean in the mid, and then in the base, incense, Peru balsam, and amber. Totally fall vibes though if you're looking for a body mist. For a super cozy scent to me that feels like a warm hug. I talk about it a lot, but I absolutely love Thé Matcha from Labo. Highly recommend this one. It's different than everything else here because it is more of a kind of powdery, woody, green fig scent, if that makes sense. I really feel like this is best on skin. It really warms up and it creates this scent bubble around you that I think is just so cozy and warm and distinct as well. This has notes of fig, cedar, matcha tea, bitter orange, and vetiver. I honestly feel like this is super well blended, so as much as I totally get those notes, I don't pick them out entirely by themselves. That bitter orange that's in here kind of reminds me of the way the bitter orange comes across in Orange Bitters from Jo Malone, if you smelled that, but this doesn't necessarily smell citrusy in any way, and I feel like it does fig in a different way again, but at the same time, it is undoubtedly fig. When I first smelled this, I knew immediately. I was like, fig's in that. It smells freaking good. It was love at first sniff with this one, and I highly recommend checking it out. I also have it in the body wash, and I love pairing them together. It's so good. Another perfectly unisex scent. I feel like all the scents I'm talking about for the most part are very unisex leaning. Just to give you an idea, I mean, all scents are unisex. Anyone can wear anything, but I just mean kind of in the traditional sense, you can get an idea of where they kind of fall. This is like sophisticated cozy to me, and like in terms of fall activities, it's a little more niche, you know what I mean? And also I just want to point out that it is September, so Le Labo's having their city exclusives available in stores, I believe, and also online, whereas usually they are city exclusives and you can only get them in certain cities around the world. So just thought I would throw that out there in case you are wanting to smell them. Now is the time. I guess we've waited long enough to talk about Angel Share. To me, this is like the quintessential fall fragrance. Like if you wanted one fragrance to scream fall, Angel Share is gonna do it. There are some flankers. I haven't smelled the newest one. I think it's Angel Share on the Rocks. I really want to smell that. Ooh! Smelling this gets me so excited for the weather to actually turn. It's still kind of hot here in LA. If you want a boozy, cozy, spicy apple filling, apple pie filling, that's what this smells like. It's so good. It's really warm and rich and ooey and gooey and just delicious. Obsessed with this. It also lasts a really long time. This has notes of cognac, cinnamon, tonka bean, oak, hedoin, and then in the base, vanilla, praline, sandalwood, and candied almonds. I don't know why I did not remember the candied almonds in the base of this, but it is so good. If there was one like niche fragrance that I definitely think you should get your nose on if you haven't smelled it, but also if you're wanting like a heavy hitter gourmand that isn't like straight up vanilla, that's really gonna keep you warm, keep you cozy, have you smelling incredible. I just can't recommend Angel Share enough. It's so good, and I feel like the color of the liquid lets you know everything. Like I really think what it looks like is what it smells like. This next scent almost feels like a caricature of fall to me. Like it is, again, undoubtedly fall when you spray this. There's no other time of year you're gonna be wearing fall cashmere from Skylar. And I feel like this is gonna be best if you want something that has a little bit of woods in it, but isn't too woody. You still want some sweetness. I can really pick up on the almond in here in like the best way. I'm not always the biggest fan of almond, but I really love how it plays with the other spices that are going on in here as well. There's clove, there's also some ginger in here, there's some matcha tea. There's a lot of matcha in these ones. But for a full list of notes, almond, ginger, cinnamon, clove, and matcha tea, and then in the base, vanilla, sandalwood, amber, and white musk. Now I will say this can be almost so fall that it could be like a room spray or like a candle, but I don't know, the longer I have this, the more I really do think it's a perfect just like fall fragrance. If you kind of want the equivalent of those summer fragrances that come out that smell like the beach, that smell like a vacation, this is kind of like the fall version of that kind of a perfume. Again, it really just transports you there immediately. And I don't know why this just came to me, but it almost smells like the picture of a fall puzzle, like what it smells like in the picture as you put together this fall puzzle. This is what the air smells like in the picture. I know it's new and there could have been a lot of straight up vanillas that went in here, but I decided to give it to Queen's Caramel from Ellis, Brooklyn. I just think this is such a beautiful, warm, caramely vanilla, and that caramel really adds something, I think, cozy for fall, a little bit toasted, and because this is a richer vanilla than some of the other vanillas I have in my collection, I think it's really gonna work out as, again, the weather starts cooling down. This kind of smells like you made like a whipped caramel vanilla dip for your apples, like so good. And there technically isn't really any spice going on in this one, but I almost feel like it's hinting at it, and I think it would pair so nicely with some of the woodier scents. Specifically, I'm really excited to pair it with Autumn Vibes and see how it is. Actually, let's just do it now. Let's do it live. You guys. Oh my gosh, that combo's kind of giving Hallmark fall movie. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's what I'm getting right now. Like cozy, super fall. Oh my gosh. Okay, really love these together. Anyway, some notes on Queen's Caramel, just in case you haven't been here for the last few videos. Caramel, maple, sugar, honey, and salt in the top. White chocolate, coconut, vanilla orchid, and jasmine in the mid. And then vanilla, tonka bean, amber, and musk in the base. If you're a fan of Bianco Latte, that's what this smells like to me, but a little richer, warmer, and more caramely. That's why I feel like it just gives a little bit more of that cozy vibe. The last two fragrances in here to me are fall coated, but more signature scents. So as much as I think these are cozy and they paint the picture of fall for sure, they're more like the scent that you could be wearing as a signature and like an everyday scent, but for the fall season, and not so much a character of the season itself on you. I hope that makes sense. All right, first here, this is English Oak and Redcurrant from Jo Malone. To me, this is like the English countryside during fall. There's a rose note in here that definitely comes through, but I don't know, there's just something more grounded and earthy about this rose. It's a little fruity as well. There's red currant rose and then there's oak in the base. That combination is just sophisticated. There's just something about the kind of woody facets of this along with the kind of fruity but like tart, almost like leaning on sour red currant, that adds something a little different. And then to me, the rose is a little like peppery, a little sweet, and all of it wrapped together is sophisticated and a great like signature fall scent. Again, like while you're gonna be doing your fall things, while you're just gonna be living life through fall, I always think of like over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The scene of that is this fragrance. And last for perfumes, this is part of what inspired me to do the video. Instant Crush from Mancera. I just love this, and if you're looking for like a fall baccarat, we'll just say that's what this gives. There's saffron in here, ginger, there's like a syrupy jasmine going on, all with like a musky, woody vanilla base, and I just think it's a great, again, signature if you're wanting something sweet, but with a little bit more body to it, again, as the weather cools down. It's really beautiful. It lasts a really long time, and I feel like it can also transition well from like day if you want to, but also into something nighttime and kind of sexy. So good. I won't go on and on about it. Really love Instant Crush though. And those are like the most fall fragrances to me in my collection. Of course, so many other things can work. I have so many other vanillas, but when I really was thinking of like what's evoking fall, what is just gonna immediately put me there, these are the fragrances that came to mind. Now, another way to get into the fall mood is with candles, and I have already been doing this, okay? My house has been smelling like fall for a few weeks already. And so even if you're not ready to wear fall fragrances, maybe it's still kind of hot where you are, you can still cozy up your house at night, get those fall vibes going. And here are my favorite candles to do that. First, from the new Savant, this is Girl in a Sweater, and I believe this is back if I'm not mistaken. So exciting. And Girl in a Sweater is definitely one to catch. This is like a spiced apple kind of scent. It smells so good, like you're making, I don't know, almost like a cranberry apple cocktail with some spices, you know? Notes in here, ruby apples, smoked bourbon, mulled spices, and a sprig of rosemary. You know, the new Savant does some interesting scents. I have some of the Halloween scents, and some of them are a little bit different. I love the creativity, but they are a little bit more niche, we'll say. Whereas I feel like Girl in a Sweater kind of rides that line perfect, where it's like an elevated Bath & Body Works candle. Like there's just something about it that smells more expensive and better than like a cranberry scent or apple scent from them. So if you want something a little fruity and a little spiced, highly recommend Girl in a Sweater. Of course, I have to mention from Snif, their half-baked collection. I really love the pumpkin smash. I have the big candle. I love a big candle, and of course, if you love switching out your scent, smaller candles can be great, but more for the experience and the way the light flickers and all of that, you just can't beat a big candle. Like, I love a big candle. There's something about it. It smells so good. I'm telling you, it really smells like pumpkin bread batter to me. It's so rich. I would say this is my favorite fall pumpkin candle. I love this so much. Highly recommend it. If you want like a decadent pumpkin gourmand candle, this is the one I recommend. I feel like it goes there without being overly sweet, and it kind of is the difference between like a Little Debbie's pumpkin something and like a nice piece of pumpkin bread baked at like your local cafe. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference. Notes on half-baked pumpkin smash though: pumpkin spice cinnamon stick, whiskey, bruleed orange, salted maple, roasted chocolate. So freaking good. And as you guys know, I have a code with Snif, so if you're gonna shop over there, definitely use that to save money. Lauren 10 in it is affiliated. I do also really love the half-baked apple cider smash. I'm burning this tonight, I already know. This one's definitely fruitier just by way of the apple, but I would say overall the apple doesn't take over this fragrance. It still has a really sweet, kind of lighter base on it. It does have like a donut accord in it, but I don't find this to be like bready like a donut. It just smells like sweet, kind of lifted, and I feel like the kind of sugary components in here meet the apple half and half. Notes on this: sparkling apple cider, honey crisp apple, warm donut accord, cinnamon sugar, caramel glaze, and Madagascar vanilla. So freaking good. But of course, if you're wanting wanting like the best bang for your buck, if you're wanting candles that have great scent throw, tons of fall options, there's Bath & Body Works. These are my top 4 scents, okay? These are the quintessential fall fragrance candles in my collection that I repurchased, that I've gone through for something super spicy that just is Thanksgiving. Like, we're not starting fall, we are dead in it and we're turning into the holidays. Leaves is the perfect candle. This has notes of crisp red apple, golden nectar, and warm clove spice, but I feel like I mostly get the spice on this. Like, yes, of course there's apple, but it is just really, really spicy in a way that just, again, is so cozy, so fall. For some reason, even when I burn this in my own house, it still gives me the feeling of like going over to someone else's house in the fall time. Definitely a lot of like fall nostalgia in this scent. If you want another scent that's going to be fall nostalgia without as much spice, I highly recommend Autumn. This one I have been burning in my house, in my room, since like 2012, 2011. So this one immediately is fall to me, but it's more that like golden apple, the weather's turning, the air feels a little different, it smells a little different in the morning. This is bright red gala apple, juicy fig, eucalyptus leaf, and fir balsam. It's sweet, juicy, and bright, but in a fall way. Absolutely love this one, and I'm so glad that they brought it back. I feel like they didn't bring it back last year. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I was like getting scared because again, this one is like my fall scent. Like, what? Now, if you like the apple, but you want it a little bit more gourmand, I suggest Cider Lane, because to me, this is a caramel apple scent. There's a kind of crispness coming from the apple, but then that's dipped in some caramel, and it's so good. I really think that mix of that tart, juicy apple with the sweet, sugary caramel really works perfectly in here. You get both of them, and I love that because it just balances it out. Notes on this: bourbon glazed apples, maple sugar, and creamy vanilla. This one's from last year. I didn't realize I had this much left of it. This year's is like a red, and I don't know if it's an online exclusive from Bath & Body Works, but highly recommend getting Cider Lane. And last, this was just in my favorites video, so again, I don't want to go on too much, but pumpkin cinnamon bun is the best. This is the second candle, and I'm almost done with it. I mean, my nights, let me just tell you, are cozy up in my house, okay? I like to light this before I'm gonna get into the shower, so I just set the tone for my vanilla experience, and it's divine. This also is so strong, so it really is gonna smell up your house. I feel like that with all the Bath & Body Works stuff, they're just some of the strongest candles out there, and I feel like overall that's a good thing, but just a warning in case you like something a little bit lighter. Put this in a pretty big space. So good though. Love, love, love it. It really does smell like thick, yummy icing on a cinnamon roll that's warm and yummy. Notes: warm cinnamon roll, of course, pumpkin spice, and vanilla frosting. I don't get a ton of pumpkin, but I feel like that's a positive overall. Okay, I'm kind of popping this one in here because I almost forgot this, which how could I? But for another kind of house scent for fall, I absolutely love specifically the Labo Hinoki hand soap. If you kind of want something that smells like autumn vibes, but in a hand soap, this one is so good. It's like the perfect woody scent and immediately just reminds me of fall. It smells so cozy, but still expensive. It's definitely a treat, but if you're wanting a different way to kind of incorporate some fall scents into your house, Hinoki's a great way to do it. You could use this year round, of course, but there's just something about the way the woodiness comes across in here. Kind of dry, a little aromatic, maybe even a little peppery. I don't know. It just screams fall to me for sure. And those are all the cozy, quintessentially fall, okay? Like, I know when these are getting busted out, it is fall time. We need to start figuring out fall activities. We need to be carving pumpkins, or at least I'm inspired to try to do some of that stuff. You know, how much do you actually do? Are you carving pumpkins every year? Are you going to the apple orchards every year? What do you do for fall? Let me know. I also want to know your fall fragrance recommendations. If you have some smokier candles, I would love to know. Also, especially any fall candles from niche brands, I would love to check some more brands out because I feel like a lot of these have been my favorites for a while, and I would love to maybe discover some new things, shout out some new things. And of course, I want to know your favorite quintessential cozy fall fragrances. I just love this time of year, and I love it when it comes to scent as well. So there will of course be more videos to come. This was just the start, and I thought we would go just super classic, almost kind of basic, you know, but I don't care. I love fall with absolutely no shame. Anyway, okay, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.